I guess now you understand why it seems we're keeping our eyes on the issue of food security in Nigeria. It's a major driver of what we are facing. It's a major driver of inflation in the country, and of course other things follow. So we're still staying with that July MPC decision, but let's look at the markets now, see how the markets reacted yesterday. But that announcement was made later yesterday, so we cannot say that. That's why the markets closed the way it did. The NGX, we see lost 0.08%, but still around 100,000 at 56.89 trillion. I lost 47 billion naira. I guess today we'll see some reactions to it. The sectors yesterday, banking had a lot of profit taking, 0.67% down. It was the only one the previous day that was in the green. So it's investor sentiment or follow. Industrial goods was unchanged. Insurance and the negative. Oil and gas has not been moving. Again, back to that. And then we look at the fixed income market yesterday. Let's discuss with Mr. Bosun Obembe from Access Bank to see perhaps what we're expecting. Hi, Mr. Obembe, good morning. I think for the market, the asymmetrical corridor adjustment would be a must-see or must-watch for the market's reaction.
Yes. So the asymmetric corridor, the adjustment to the asymmetric corridor wasn't something market expected. The increase in the MPR, the market anticipated that there should be an increase, given that the next MPC meeting is in 2 months' time. So it's a forward-looking increase in the MPR. But the asymmetric corridor, given the system liquidity, system liquidity currently is in repo. When system liquidity is in repo, it means that banks are actually borrowing from the CBN. So with the adjustment of the asymmetric corridor to plus 500 minus 100 basis point, what that implies is if a bank wants to access a fund from the CBN window, the bank will have to pay 36.75% as interest. Also, the minus 100 basis point means that if a bank has excess fund and the bank wants to place it with the CBN, the bank can place it with CBN at 25.75. So the implication of this is the transmission mechanism. We expect that the rate will increase, the borrowing rate, lending rate between banks and banks will increase, which invariably will cascade to the rate at which banks lend to customers.
So, but does this affect the yields rates? Because we know that it seems the government is trying to manage that because of the high cost of debt servicing we've seen.
Yes, but the 50 basis point increase, we expect it to actually have impact on all the rate, given the shift in the asymmetric corridor as well. But today, we have an NTB auction happening today. So by the time the auction closes, I think we should see the increase in stop rate. So we have about 277 billion on offer. We have 255 billion on the 1-year paper and 6.4 billion on 1 and 2 days paper. So the last stop rate was 21.24. I expect that there will be an increase, at least maybe a 50 basis point increase in the stop rate. Given the level of system liquidity, the market is in repo. So I would rather not buy Treasury B at say 22% rate than I would rather not buy it than going to CBN to go and borrow at 36.75. So which sector would the bank lend to at 36.75? It's a very tough time for banks, and I think it's a very good time for investors, so they can actually get higher yield on their fund. So today, I expect that both on the bonds space and the Treasury-based side, will have an increase in yield across the curve.
Yeah, an increase in yield and higher debt servicing for the government.
Yes, so you have to just choose one. So, and then, but what DMO has done is currently, what we have today is a maturity. So we have 277 billion maturity. So DMO, what we've seen them do is to just roll that over. So the increase is not going to be significant, like what we saw at first quarter, when at every auction we see DMO raising over 1 trillion. But what we've seen so far is just an increase in, they just maintain the amount maturing, but at an increased cost. But like I told you, there is no fund to actually subscribe, so we might not see that level of subscription at today's auction.
Yeah, but subsequently, don't we expect to see that reflecting?
I think maybe by the time the DMO, we've been talking about the Eurobond, so maybe the government might look at maybe borrowing through the Eurobond, which is a bit cheaper. But you have to just choose one. To entice foreign investors to come. We need this lot money. To entice foreign investors to come, you have to increase rate. So, and to fight inflation too, you have to increase rate. So maybe by the time inflation starts coming down, then we can see yield to maybe yield coming down. But for now, I think it's hop up.
All right, Bosso Baby, thank you so much for your views this morning.
Thank you for having me.